I wanted to talk about dedication, quitting, and letting go of things that are not quite working. And I'm going to do that today in the context of my own life and some recent kind of insights and decisions, right? Started, well, them to focus in on is yesterday, right? I was out at a wellness session. We were doing like a meditation and visualization, right? And in part of this visualization, we were asked to imagine a few things that we wanted to let go of as we were embracing new changes in our lives, right? And so keep that in mind, right? I'm going to also then go back to a wellness session I went to maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember whether it was 1 week or 2 weeks ago. But in that session, the speaker talked about soul aligned actions, right? Like things that we do that are really aligned with our purpose, kind of feeding our soul, right? And what things do we do that are not quite aligned with our purpose and are maybe because they are not quite aligned, because they are not quite aligned with our purpose, are maybe actually draining us or causing us to feel a bit more burnt out or just not quite fulfilling for us, right? And so, in thinking about these two things together, right, these two recent experiences, and thinking about my own life and this YouTube channel, right, one of the things that I've been doing for the channel that I actually do not enjoy is making shorts, right? And I'm conflicted a bit because on one hand, I recognize there is probably like the vast majority of people now, the way they interact with content is through shorts, is through scrolling. However, me personally, that is something I intentionally avoid doing, right? I'm not on TikTok. I am on Instagram, but I literally do not go over to the short side of it and start scrolling. I only look at my main page and people's profiles, and it's like really my main interaction with this through DMs with others. But I don't do it intentionally because I actually don't feel like it's good for me, right? I feel like it's a bit unhealthy, right? I don't want kind of like, I want to be very intentional about the content that I consume, right? I feel like consuming, let's just call it bad content, for lack of a better word, has negative effects on my psyche, which then show up in different ways in other aspects of my life, right? And I would, you know, for evidence of that, even point to like some of the recent lawsuits and things against social media companies and like their effects on teens and mental health and people in general, right? Because that's the thing is I feel like it's not just bad for younger children, right? I feel like it can, if it's bad for younger children and teens, it's probably bad for everyone, right? Like maybe as you get older, you can develop more of a capacity to tune out certain things to let it affect you less, which I do believe is a positive trait just in general, right? That's even one of the things that I feel like going out and being more social is helping me to develop is this ability to kind of put away bad experiences, like put them out of my mind, let them go, kind of let it be water off his duck's back where it doesn't, it just rolls off, doesn't sink in at all. But at the same time, I don't want to be practicing that by like consuming bad content. So like on one hand, it's like, okay, I want to do things to meet people where they're at, right? If people are watching the shorts, maybe I would like to do something to connect with them. But at the same time, the other side of me is like, I don't do the shorts myself, don't want to consume the shorts because I don't actually feel that it's good, right? So another part of the reason I started doing the shorts in general was that when I started making the YouTube channel, I was concerned and worried about my words being used against me, right? That something I would say may be taken out of context, and when it gets taken out of context, it can be construed and presented in a way that's not true to its original meaning, right? And so part of me making the shorts was like, well, let me do that myself, right? Like, better for me to do it to my own stuff than to let some other people do it to me and kind of hurt me in that sense, right? Like, again, building up like the resilience of, hey, I'm gonna practice doing it so that if it were to happen again and again, or someone else to do it, it wouldn't have so much of an effect on me, right? And I feel like it's been successful to that extent. Like, I see some of the shorts I put up, and like I know how much is taken out of context, right? I know how small a portion of the video and of the video's meaning it truly captures and truly presents. And like, sometimes that stuff resonates and gets more views than the video ever would or maybe will ever get, but not quite true to the original meaning, not quite true to the original point that I was trying to convey, and um, doesn't even necessarily lead to, doesn't always, certainly like very small percentage of the time that someone watches the shorts, they will then go and watch the longer video. And so, although it does happen, and I do think that is a good thing, um, you know, I would prefer to just cultivate the engagement with the larger, longer video, because I feel like, honestly, I feel like the stuff I talk about is like deep, right? I feel like it's kind of nuanced, and I feel like without the full context, without a larger explanation, then the meaning will get lost, right? And so going forward, I'm not going to do the shorts anymore. Um, I have a number of them that I haven't put out yet that I've already kind of chopped up. Maybe I will put those out, but also like maybe not. At the same time, I do want to continue working more to meet people where they're at and to continue providing kind of high quality content that they would like to engage with. So, I'm going to be releasing daily videos, right? Daily long form videos. And part of me feels like this is a big commitment, right? And that even like walking away from the shorts is maybe like quitting or giving up or abandoning it. But also, like, although that is in my mind, what I'm thinking instead is like, by going to like the long form stuff every day, that I'll actually be putting out like 3 times as much content as I have been, right? So it's not like quitting or giving up. It's actually like tripling down, right? Like going deeper, providing a greater breadth and depth. And one thing that I would like to do as well is make some videos actually addressing the comments that people leave me, right? Part of the reason that I haven't done that up till now is because my thinking has been, if and when my channel gets big, right, there's gonna be so many comments that like I won't have the time and maybe even won't want to dedicate the time to addressing them all. Particularly when I don't necessarily feel like the comments need to be left in good faith, right? It can, you know, how much do I want to engage with like internet hate? Like, yeah, I don't know about that. But at the same time, like, I actually really do appreciate it when people leave comments, right? Particularly like when the comments are left with like good intentions, because it it is rewarding to me to feel like someone cared enough to watch it and like to wonder, right? To have a question, to have an opinion that they wanted to express, right? To share something. even if it's something is like, let's just call it not so constructive, right? Like, still reached out and touched someone in some way, right? I know my intentions were good in making the videos, even if others don't feel that. Um, the fact that they engage with it is still like, it's still kind of a plus, right? And so I do want to do more to respond to the comments, to the videos talking about the comments, and doing that as a way to kind of help people more where they're at. Because some of the comments that have been left really are quite personal in a way, right? I feel like they are people opening up to me. And I appreciate that. I'm actually quite honored by it. And so those are kind of some of the changes that I'm expecting to make for the channel, right? And one thing that I'm going to be doing a little bit more going forward is kind of in the spirit of this video, right? Talking about things in my own life that I'm going through, things that I'm trying to change, right? And so this video talking about like being split, right? Talking about this sense of like commitment and dedication, and am I walking away from something that I want to be committed to, right? Also talking about leaving things behind that I feel like have not quite been so aligned with where I want to go or how I would like to change moving forward, right? Embracing change more. Those are some of the things that are going on in my own life. Those are some things that I think about. And I feel like those are even some of the things I touch on in other videos. So I hope this finds you well. I hope it's even giving you something to think about. Maybe there are things that you are committed to that you have been doing that you would like to be committed to, but that maybe going forward you would like to do in a little bit different way, in a way that kind of feeds you more than it drains you or has been draining you. And so with that, I hope this finds you well. Take care, and I love you.